Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. In my hands is Profit Against Slavery, a Benjamin Lay, a graphic novel. Rather interesting graphic novel, and a little bit of history that I have no idea about. So I was very kind of interested and fascinated about diving in and checking this out. So the book is by David Lester, Marcus Rediker, and Paul Buhle. This is an interesting one. So obviously this is the uncorrected proof, so it's what I gotta go off with as far as reviewing it. So this is about a guy named Benjamin Lay, someone I had no idea about. I've never heard of him before. Just totally new historical person, and he was a radical abolitionist, and basically was a Quaker who just challenged the establishment about slavery. But he went beyond that. He wasn't just anti-slavery and abolitionist, but he also, I don't know if I would say he was a vegan, but definitely vegetarian, did not eat meat. And I don't know if he did milk or anything like that, but he looked at like everything was God's creature, so you should treat them as such. People, animals, slaves, non-slaves, that we're all God's children. And that we should all be treated equally and lovingly and all that stuff. So it's a really it's an interesting story, kind of going through Lay's life and this battle he had taking on the Quaker establishment. The Quakers eventually became anti-slavery. I think it was like 17 years after Lay dies that they actually fully turned against slavery. But I think it's just really kind of fascinating watching this guy go against the leadership and calling them out for as corrupted as they are. There's kind of echoes today of just, that we need individuals who are willing to fight against the establishment and say, you've been corrupted by your power and you've kind of lost your way. The other thing I think that's really interesting is that Lay was, he was a dwarf and a hunchback on top of it. So, this is a person who was attacked for his physical appearance. That was often what they seemed like their comeback to. But he was a really interesting individual. I mean, he used theatrics to make his point. He was very over top in that in interesting ways. And generally, it's just it's a fascinating read. I like the historical aspects about it. I definitely learned a lot about him, and it made me want to learn more and wondering why haven't we learned more about him? And it's not too shocking why we haven't learned more about this person. The graphic novel itself is a little choppy for me, and the art's a little eh. But as far as something to start and dive into to learn about Benjamin Lay, it's pretty solid. I don't know anywhere else to start, so I would have to go with this. But as far as narrative and all that, I kind of had some issues with the overall graphic novel. I mean, to me, the biggest issue when it comes to the narrative is the graphic novel seems to struggle between being a graphic textbook and actually telling a narrative. And then the art at time is a little bit rough and a little too out there. And just the style isn't necessarily my thing. A more polished look would have been, I think, a little preferable, but nothing. It's nothing horrible. It's just not a style I enjoy. But the info within, I think, is really interesting. This is a person 300 years ago that railed and said, "No justice, no peace," and that's a chant that echoes today. So the fact that he was fighting the good fight all those years ago, and we're still fighting the good fight, is really impressive. And I think the other thing is he foresaw where things were going and said, slavery is going to be the venom that hurts us for decades in America, and that's going to be our poison. And he's right. There's a lot of his predictions wound up. He was right. As far as a starting place to go learn about him, I think this is pretty solid. But it's all I know. So to be honest, we can check out the art a little bit. I mean, it's a rough style. As I said, it's not necessarily my liking, but there's nothing about it that I think really kind of turned me off. Where I was just I really dislike this. I mean, there's some stuff I think is really, really good, and really interesting. And I think I kind of know where things were going. and the style that was gone with, but like overall, it's just not necessarily my thing. So overall, like this feels like a good spot to maybe start to go learn about Benjamin Lay. For those who've been looking for something, like I don't know what else is out there, but you know, as far as I know, there's no other graphic novels. So yeah, I mean, I felt like I learned a whole lot. So this is kind of cool. This is out now. You can go get it. It's from Beacon Press. Should be able to get this in comic shops. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code. Tell if comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We got links beneath this. There'll be affiliate links, so we get a small percentage by doing that. You'll support our site. So thank you. I want to thank Beacon Press. I want to thank David Lester for hooking us up with a review copy. We appreciate that. And of course, thank you all for watching. If you're into graphic novels, if you're into comics, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.